What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash today. Shout out to the Dragon Riders in the House of the Dragon. We're talking about this one for Slowkey and Mr. Hat. We're going to be going over the BCH BTC pair for Mr. Hat there. And without any further ado, I want to get into this. So, looking at this on a daily, from the relative high to low that we have, we are at the 1272, 1272, 1414 area. We are finding resistance here. I want to talk about a couple of things. Okay, so first and foremost, are we going to go higher? Secondly, how high are we going to go? A lot of you have been asking, not specifically asking how high we're going to go, but saying things like, I heard 2,500 is around the corner, 5,000, I've seen numbers like that is around the corner. Like, is this true? What do you think? You know, and I do think that those numbers, I think those numbers are achievable by the end of this year. I do think they are. Now, is this going to be the move that takes us to $2,000, $2,500, $5,000? I don't think it is. I don't think it is personally. But at the same time, zoom out, right? Because technically, very literally actually, this is all part of the one move that is going to take us up to $2,500, $5,000, stuff like that. You know, it's going to take us there. Just like the same thing here, like moving up here, this was all the same move that took us all the way up to $1,700. You know what I mean? But it didn't just happen in one fell swoop. It looks like it happened in a very straight line, but from top to bottom here, you dropped 40%. You dropped 40% several times before moving up. I don't think we're in a phase like this right now. I personally don't think we're in a phase like that. I wouldn't compare it to this either. I would say that we're just doing different things right now. Really what we're doing, if we're looking at the more immediate term, is we broke out of our accumulation range. We consolidated for a bit. We crept closer to the breakout point, right? And we are breaking out right now. 100% we're breaking out right now. That is breakout volume. That is a breakout move. We could, being that we are at the 1272, we could pull back to $304 to $330, somewhere in that range. It's a very normal range to hit. Hitting your expected extensions, pulling back to your 886 and bouncing right off of there is beautiful. It's a classic thing to do. Another thing that's classic to do, if you take the fibs away, actually let's put this right at your 886 so that we know, right? But a classic thing to do is once you break out, to back test the areas of resistance that you broke out from, back test the breakout point and then go higher. So that just lines up very well with that 886 area as well. On a closing point, on a resistance point down here, maybe we go a little bit below 300, maybe, but it's okay. You know what I mean? So maybe we don't. We're all the way at 400 now, or 393 now. We don't have to go that low, okay? And the last time that we broke out, we just went all the way up. But technically we did right here, literally at the low, tipped the breakout point, right? And I think the technical breakout point really would have been like here or here. I like to use closing points, but still, literally tipped a previous tip. It's kind of crazy. So could we go back and tip this tip here at about 330? Something like that wouldn't be crazy at all. So yes, I do think this has higher to go. I do. But I'm not looking at the thousands. I'm not looking at the thousands yet. The highest that I would give this thing, in my opinion, would be somewhere between 500 and 800, somewhere between there. And I think 800 is reaching. Okay, so just to ground people, because I know I got more than a few comments talking about prices all the way up here and beyond. And beyond. Some people are saying 8,000. I had one guy, or maybe it was two people, said 10,000. You guys, we're going to go a lot higher than that over the cycle. But in the more immediate term, you know, as far as like the rest of this year goes, let's take away these fibs here. If we were to move up kind of like this, I don't know, I suppose, that's a pretty bullish trajectory. And that would put us right at 2,500 by the end of this year, right? That's a pretty bullish trajectory. So is it possible? I think so. Could Bitcoin Cash move up, consolidate, move up again, consolidate? You know, sure, it could. Does it have to look exactly like that? No. Could it do something like that? Sure, but to put it in perspective, right? This is a lot less likely, right? I mean, at least in my opinion, that looks a lot less likely. That would put you to about 10 grand by the end of the year, and we'd have to just move up, basically nonstop, stealing the spotlight month after month after month. And it doesn't have to look like that, right? You could move up, pull back, move up, pull back. Like it doesn't have to be necessarily a straight line, but more or less the trajectory would have to be like that is all I'm trying to say. So staying grounded, it sounds crazy from here, but staying grounded would be $2,500 or probably lower by the end of the year. I don't know if by the end of 2024 we will even be above this high. It'd be nice to see. It would be really encouraging to see, but I'm not totally convinced that we'll see that just yet. Let's see from top to bottom here. I love talking about the long term, man, because the long term is really what gets me excited for this thing. Top to bottom, right now, the next target, in my opinion, very much is between 535 and 660. Somewhere in that zone is where we're going to go. Bitcoin Cash is anything but reliable in a sense. I mean, it's a reliable coin, but I mean with its price action, it's very volatile. It'll be up, it'll come down, it'll look bearish, and then boom, it starts flipping up and going bullish again. You know, except for these 2 weeks here where it moved in a very straight line. On a daily basis, again, it really would not surprise me if we pulled back to that $300 to $330 area. It wouldn't surprise me, but we don't need to do that. We absolutely could go up here. I want to see how the rest of this week closes. Let's see how today and tomorrow close, where we are, because we might check back at the breakout point before going up here. But nonetheless, you guys, I think the next stop, what everybody's so excited for, what a lot of people are asking questions as to where we're going to go, the next stop is going to be between 530 and 660. So that's really my best guess, if I really had to say so. And if we look at the 618, we put a line right there at the 618. We take away the fib. You can see previous areas of resistance here. It is the golden ratio from this relative top to bottom. If we take the fibs based off of this level from top to bottom, that is your 1618 extension as well in that area. So there's a lot lining up with that. I very much do believe we will pursue prices even higher than that inevitably, but we might take a break there, right? We might take a break much like we did here. I have to be honest. I think that once we get up to this area, we will not take as long of a break as we did here. I don't think it'll be like that. Okay, we're in different circumstances right now in the bull market, and I want to go over some things that are different about Bitcoin Cash right now. I want to go over the BCH BTC pair for Mr. Hat here. You guys, we are doing things differently than we've ever done for Bitcoin Cash, ever in its history. Okay, and I've got a few basic points to kind of point out here. Okay, so very first thing, on a weekly RSI point on the BCH to BTC chart, this is Bitcoin Cash versus Bitcoin BTC. We've seen the strongest readings we've ever seen. We've seen the strongest readings paired with a very strong move, arguably the strongest move. You know, if not, this one was like a close first or second, but pretty symmetrical movements. From the last time we saw a move like that, bottom to top, we found support on the golden extension itself. We are finding support on the 1414. This is becoming relevant, man. And what this tells me is if we continue to hold relevance on this, we very well could see an extension based off of this high to this low. And the minimum extension would be a 5 to 10% Bitcoin Cash versus Bitcoin. This area is where I think Bitcoin Cash will be in comparison to Bitcoin by the end of the cycle. Now, I want to put some thoughts in your head, okay? I have price targets personally for Bitcoin, BTC, that are anywhere from 400K to 500K by the end of the cycle. If let's say it's half that, okay, let's put that in half. Let's do 200 to 250K. Okay, if Bitcoin Cash is worth 5% of the small one, 200K, that's half of my genuine minimum expectation. So let's be super conservative. 5% of 200K is what? That is 10K, right? And I already think Bitcoin Cash is going to go higher than that. So that's 10K. 10% of 200K is 20K. All right. Now, let's throw on the maximum of the minimums, right? That 400K number again. I'm not going to do 500K. I'm just going to do 400K. But 400K, 5% of that would be 20K for Bitcoin Cash. 10% would be 40K for Bitcoin Cash. So if and when we see these extensions being hit for BCH BTC, we're going to be up substantially in the US dollar price as well. That's just my opinion, you know. Let's say, again, even if Bitcoin itself only goes to 200K, even if it only goes to like 180K, I need to charge my phone. We're still talking like several thousands of dollars. We're still talking new all-time highs for Bitcoin Cash. What is going on here? Oh, that's why. Okay. Got all distracted there, right? Let's look real quick. Hold on. Yeah, because right now the all-time high is at $4,300. I mean, this is where I'm getting the minimum. I really just don't see a scenario, guys, where we're going to stop at less than 13K, personally. I really don't see we might find stops along the way, sure. I don't mean it's just going to be a straight shot up there, but that's my absolute minimum target for the end of this cycle. 23K is the one that I'm betting on, and this is the one that I'm hoping for. I mean, beyond that, anything beyond that, of course, I'm hoping for, but I don't believe this is going to happen. I more do believe that this is going to happen, and I expect this to happen, right? Difference in the words, but back to the BCH BTC chart here. I really do think M Hat, Mr. Hat, you know fibs. You use them differently than I do, but hey, man, to each their own. If it works for you, it works for you. That's all that matters, man. I know you get good results with yours. Bullish divergence on the monthly. Bullish divergence, right? Lower lows, higher lows. The most bullish we've ever been on the monthly too, on the RSI. First time we ever got above the 50 was this cycle. Most bullish month we've ever seen was this cycle coming out of these lows. We had dramatic volume too for BCH versus USD, right? That we've like never seen before coming out of here. I think it was on the weekly maybe. It was like the most volume we'd ever seen, right? Yeah. Most volume we'd ever seen on the weekly this cycle, okay, which was a higher low overall. I keep going back and forth here, but long story short, I think I deleted it. Long story short, for Mr. Hat, I think this fib right here is something to pay attention to. I think we are respecting it. Look at how well we're respecting it, man. 1618 held all the way up to your 886, rejected it, maybe 786, whatever you want to say, rejected it. Very common behavior. Bounced off the 1272, rejected the 100, went down to your 1414, the exact one above this. You held support there, showing constructive behavior. You rejected, you were held down by your 1272, very tight little range here, and now you're breaking above it. Watch now you go to like the 100 level, come back and find support on the 1272, or maybe you go all the way up to your 618 and then you find support on the 886, an area you found resistance before. I don't know how it's going to look, but watch you continue to be constructive with this. And if and when you close above this 618 area right here, I'm already expecting it, but I'm going to be very much thinking that it's likely. It's not just like a pipe dream. It's not just some hope, but that we're going to see a 5 to 10% Bitcoin Cash versus Bitcoin, like a 5.1 to a 10.5%, or higher, man, or higher. Another thing on the list of things to add for Bitcoin Cash that it's never done in its history is that this is the first time we've ever seen readings above the 123 weekly moving average. Okay, it's the first time we've ever seen that. I'm going to do some other stuff here that I'm going to throw on in a second, but we're about to get back above it again. It'd be really nice to see this thing sustain prices above here and even flip this bullish, giving it its first like positive slope that it's ever had in its existence as well. On a daily perspective, it does look like we're breaking out higher. It does look pretty good. You did not want to get oversold at all, and you are having no problem being overbought. I love seeing this kind of stuff. I want to pull this up now. Let's go to the EMA ribbon. EMA ribbon, put it in log. If we go to the weekly here we are. All right, so again, something else that we've never done before was flip this ribbon. Okay, I guess we started with it bullish. I guess we did, but since we've been bearish, we have not flipped it bullish, right? No matter what, we've already been through another cycle here. Coming into, yeah, I guess it's just one bull cycle there, but here we've actually flipped it to the green. So actually, to be fair, that is something we've never done, because here it was already flipped, right? That's not a flip down, that's like a rejection down, and you actually went up. From being flipped to the downside, this is the first time we've ever flipped it to the upside. Anyways, here we are right now getting above the red part. I really want to see how this week closes, because it would be really nice to get above this ribbon, but I think it's going to flip back up to the upside anyways. On a daily basis, yeah, it's looking really good. I want to look at BCH versus USD now with this. Very, very, very bullish look, man. You held that ribbon very tight, having a positive reaction there. Let's look at the monthly. Monthly is postured down, but you are above it. Now, here's the deal, too. Something to take into consideration. The last time that we were closing months above the red, we did that for literally 1 2 months. The third month we topped out, and then we went down, okay? But this was already a year past the halving. We are a month before the halving right now. So we are just showing strength that we haven't seen in the past bull cycle with this thing. We're showing strength right now a lot earlier. I think this leaves room for Bitcoin Cash to go up a lot higher is all I'm trying to get at, man. And I'm going over the long-term stuff just because I like reminiscing in it. But really, truthfully speaking, you know, with how far away from the ribbon we are on the daily, we could pull back over the coming days. This ribbon could catch up. Maybe we go up to like 330, 320, 300, something like that. That's where it bounces. It's very, very common to do that. You can go below the ribbon, and as long as you maintain the yellow line on the top, you don't really like flip to the downside. It's still good, but daily ribbon didn't look to be too widely respected here. But you get that with what's it called, neutral price movement. And anyways, man, I'm just yammering on at this point. I don't really know if I have anything else I want to say. Let me look at the BTC chart one more time. Yeah, man. Another thing that we're doing new, first time we closed a month above the yellow line since it's been around. I don't know, man. Different things promote different results, in my opinion. They really do. The next thing to do that would be different for Bitcoin Cash versus BTC would be to get a higher low with a higher high. Because we've had higher lows before, we just had lower highs. We've even had higher highs before, but just with lower lows, you know. So if we can get higher highs and lower or higher lows, we got the high, we've got the higher low. Can we get the higher high? That's the next question. And if we do that, you guys, I think it will start to become a little bit less deniable that Bitcoin Cash is going to do anything short of extraordinary this coming bull cycle. And I'm talking a lot right now, but it looks good, guys. It looks good. It's happening. It's happening right now, man. Is it a good time to buy? You had all the time in the world to buy, man. You had all the time in the world to buy. It's at $400. I assume it's going to go above 13K. Sure, it's at a good time to buy, but it very well could pull back from here. In a very short amount of time, it could pull back 20%, 25%, 17% at a minimum, you know? Is it a good time to buy here? I don't know. But if you're waiting, if you have no exposure to this thing and you're waiting for that pullback, you might not see it. You're at a point where it might be more risky to not buy. And it's not necessarily FOMO if you're buying for that reasons, but if you are buying up here, I would say you are FOMOing. None of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. But if you did not buy at any point in time here, you're in a very tough situation right now, man. Me personally, if I was looking to buy Bitcoin Cash and I saw this right now, I'd probably look to put my money somewhere else that hasn't blown up yet, personally. And then if it happens to come back in that amount of time that I'm looking for something else or that I invested in something else, you know, I might move my money down into this. But you're in a tough spot right now, man. You're in a really tough spot. I don't really got much else to say. So if you guys like the video, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you all for coming. I think Bitcoin Cash is making a move up above $500. Anywhere from $500 to $800 in a very short amount of time over the coming weeks, over the coming months, and then we'll chill. I do not think that, you know, in this first half of 2024 that we're going to break $1,000. I don't. I would love to see it. I would love to see it. I'd love to be wrong on that, but I don't think we will. I think that's more second half stuff, post-halving stuff in the second half of the year. So until then, I'm looking forward to the price growing anywhere from $500 to $800. Again, from this high here to this low here, you know, 500 at the 1618, 2272, 800. That's where I'm getting those targets from. Anywhere and everywhere in between is fair game. We really could stop at the 1886. This thing has shown respect on its 1886 a couple times in its history, so we could see $611, but nonetheless, somewhere around there. And then if we take this relative macro cycle high to the cycle low that we have here, the 61869 lines up with the 1618, lines up with the 1886 pretty well. So anywhere from, I stand by at $500 to $800 is where I think we're going. Not only that, but on a price perspective too. 2272, previous areas of resistance here, 1618, previous areas of support and resistance. It just makes sense. 500 to 800. that's all I got. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you all for coming. I hope I gave the analysis you're looking for, slow key and M hat. I hope that this was, answering everything. If not, just leave a comment as to where I went astray and where I could do it better. I will update it in the next video if that's the case. So yeah, take care. Bye bye. Adios.